Um, what are we playing? Or is this for honor? Did they really just buff medjay? I I don't know what's going on. What's going on YouTube, man? It's your boy, XRyuChiOniX Gaming. I don't wrap it up for you, man. I don't sugarcoat it for you. I'm gonna get that shit to you raw. And today's video, we're gonna be talking about the new Warriors Den that they did for honor, and we're gonna quickly go over some of the things that they're changing. They touched a few of the characters' tweaks, and they also are touching up some of the Highlander reworks and stuff like that. So if you guys enjoy this type of content or any of my content, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment down below and what you want next. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to start with the overall, the general update. And it's really just 2 points here. It's pretty simple. They're changing the bashes basically to be more black and white and more consistent. Basically what they were saying was there were certain times where you can kind of get out of both options, out of the bash option as far as the quick bash, and then you have the delayed bash. Some people could get the timing down. I mean, there's not very many people. I mean, I couldn't get it down, so I don't think it's a whole lot of people, but essentially what they want is just two distinctive ways to get out of it and just make it black and white, where if you dodge early, you might get caught with that late bash or that dodge forward guard break, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa, and you just flip it. They kind of wanted to make sure it's more consistent and it's more reliable, basically. Tiandi, he's got his much needed nerf here, and basically what it was is he was positive frames when doing his dodge forward bash into light. What I mean by positive frames, basically what it was he was able to dodge forward bash, get the light, and then before you can mash out of that, he would be able to do it again. And you were not able to essentially get out of the mix-up because it's really just a 50-50 between it being unreactable bash and the unreactable dodge for a light. That's undodgeable. So he was really good with that. And now what they're changing it to is basically when he does the dodge for a light and he gets the light, when he gets the light off of after the bash, you can actually mash out and you guys will trade. So basically it's becoming neutral instead of him coming with a positive. I'm expecting that to be the same case if he does the dodge forward undodgeable light right after. So I'm expecting you guys to trade with that as well. I'm assuming that's how that's going to work. So that'll be interesting to see that. Next, we got hito. Hito, I don't think that hito was a huge problem character, but based on what they said in the stream, they kind of want the character to be played a certain way. So they're tweaking the things for the character to make it be played that certain way. So right now you're going to have faster hyper armor activation on the heavies. I'm not going to bore you with the numbers. Basically what it is if you throw a heavy, your hyper armor is going to kick in earlier than it was before the patch came out. So they want you to throw more heavies than lights, basically. Next is you no longer have hyper armor on lights. He said something along the lines of that they don't want people just using lights and, you know, just spamming it and just getting kind of free hyper armor out of that shit. So they want you guys to really be heavily reliant on the heavies and target swapping and stuff like that. Here's the big one right here. Here's the big one, and I think that some of the players who do play hito and they actually do like him are probably going to switch off of this character now. I know my friend is probably not going to play this character anymore. The light into kick mix-up is now interruptible by a light attack on reaction. So basically what that is if I have hito and I throw a single light and then I want to go into a kick, he's going to be able to light it out because the frame advantage will not be enough and your kick will be pretty much interrupted because they want you to use the heavies. I don't know how people play. I don't know how people think about that. I don't play hito, so I don't really care. I don't think hito is a big issue. I just think that people try to parry and deflect you or her, and it's just not going to work because she has a different timings you can do with it. So that's that. Next, we have the PK rework. I think it's okay. I'm not a PK player. I'm not super excited for PK. But I mean, I guess she gets a bash. I just hope that does not lead to Zerk getting a bash, but basically she gets a bash into a bleed light, and that's really about it. The chain, it doesn't vary a time as far as the bash. They said it's not going to be a super fast bash like any of the other like high tier meta characters. They don't want it to be that way. They want it just to be an extra toolkit to use and just give you something else because they want the character to be played. I said that, and I think I forgot what video I said it in, that some of these characters are just not being played at all because there's no reason to play the character, and she was one of them. It was not worth doing all that work to play that character unless you really liked her, and that just wasn't the case. So that's really about it. And also, she does not chain on a miss bash with that. Next we have medjay. Now this one, I'm lost on what they're trying to do here because I don't think that they're hitting the mark as far as what the character is. The issue with the character is, to me personally, this sounds like I'm speaking from playing with some of these top tier players and playing some of these competitive scrims and tournaments. I think these guys are going to use this character and they're going to be like probably better than what they were. So basically, the first point is they have the ability to switch stances in chain. Now, if you don't, let me explain this in the easier way. They're able to switch the stances with the different weapons in chain, meaning that they can actually get off a slew of mix-ups, and they can actually probably play with the frame advantage. The game gets so deep now with that because now you can go from having hyper armor into going into an unblockable, and now you have to actually pay attention to know what stance he started in, how many switches he did, what stance is he going to go into, because it really could, the amount of mix-ups that someone can do in a one-on-one is just endless now. And I'm expecting him to be able to do the bash out of the switches. So this is gonna be nasty. And I'm gonna come back to this point because the last point of this one, I have to say, it's gonna be really crazy. He no longer has hyper armor lights. I think that was needed because yeah, with just playing in pubs, you see it in pubs. If someone has any bit of latency, any bit of high ping, it was like there's no way you're pairing a light. Especially if it was in the in his stat form, there was no way to parry that because you can't really see the indicator if someone has even the slightest bit of latency, and if you delay it right, it's hard as it is already. So I think that was pretty good because these guys are just swinging in team fights and they're getting a lot of damage off. So that's that. And then the last one is, I'm confused on why they did that. They're giving him an undodgeable light finisher. I don't know if that's the right move for medjay. We already have the issue with him bash spamming and throwing lights. Not saying any specific player names, but I'm sure we can all think of one player who plays this character and they do nothing but light and bash. I just don't know what we're trying to do here. What are we playing here? It just looks like he's gonna bash light, and undodgeable light, and there's really not much that you're gonna be able to do out of that. So what that also does, what I said I was gonna bring back to the first point is because he's able to switch back into stances, you're gonna get hit with a random ass like undodgeable light that you're probably not gonna see, and it's just gonna hold you there. So I'm not sure what they're trying to do here with this character because I was under the impression that the whole reason, or at least one of the reasons, this guy was broken because the amount of obscene damage that he was doing. He was doing way too much damage. He's doing like 30 plus damage easily. Externally, his hitbox is off the chain, dude. I don't understand what we're trying to do here with this character because this to me looks like a buff. The hyper armor on lights, I mean, he doesn't need it, I guess. It was just a plus, and it just made him more annoying and hard to deal with. But him not having that, I could see maybe he's just not gonna, come across the screen as much, but it's just gonna be a 40-something damage heavy, or it feels like a 40 damage heavy. It's probably gonna be something along 33 plus, 36, maybe 38 with attack damage. Like he's doing a lot of damage. I thought that was the issue with the character. I mean, he's really easy for doing that much damage. So I don't know what we're doing here with these patches, but to me personally, my personal opinion, this is like a buff. Moving on to the last point is the Highlander. I don't put a lot of Highlander gameplay up, but I am rep 70 with him. And let's see here. I kind of wish they would have just kept it the way it was. I don't know who are these people that are putting in the input for these characters, because on the stream they say these guys are putting in these inputs, but they're putting in some dumb inputs. Someone said that they want the character to stay hard to play and have to push 50 different buttons. I'm gonna say I like to use my controller that it's not broken. I just have to push way too many buttons playing this character, and my hands hurt, and I don't want to play the character. I think the character could be simplified a little bit to allow other people to play the character. So I don't know who these people are putting in these inputs. It just seems to me that whoever's putting these inputs probably doesn't play the character or play the game that much. So there's no more dodge caber toss, and it's been slowed back down. And they changed it to a side heavy. What the hell are we? What? No. So essentially, what you did was, this rework isn't really anything. You really just gave us like 2-3 things, maybe. Like I don't even see myself playing this character now. I mean, I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. You gave us a dodge bash, and you said that you didn't like the fact that it set up other things when you have characters like I don't even know, dude. It just seems like they went completely back on what they did. Now, I do think that Highlander was strong. Yes, he was definitely strong, and he was definitely going to be played in Dominion. I don't see him being played in Dominion or anytime soon, because his moveset is just too slow. It's too slow. You literally reverted the dodge bash back to being slow and unusable. And you said that players voted for it because they love the fact that they can grab someone and take that long to get him and say, I got you feeling. Who the hell voted for that? Because that's not anything that people who actually play the character want. I don't want to be able to sit there 20 minutes and grabbing somebody and staring them in the eyes just to throw them on the ground and get interrupted. I don't want that. I want to be able to actually use the moveset. I want to be able to actually use the kick. The kick to grab shit it's not going to work because people have dodge attacks. I don't know what they're expecting the dodge forward bashes out of. I don't know what they're expecting to do with this character, but it just seems like all he has now is nothing, because you can't backstep light anymore. They took that away. You took away the sidestep caber toss. Now it's just me sitting in neutral and not being able to get any of my mix-ups off. So he's not going to be able to get into a one-on-one unless someone actually lets him do something. So fours, he's not going to be useful either. I don't see him moving anywhere. Like, I'll probably put all that information in a separate video, but I don't see him moving anywhere. I don't know what they were doing with that, but it is what it is. That's pretty much it for the changes in this update. Guys, if you enjoyed this video or any of my content, make sure you drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment down below, man, and what you guys want to see next. I don't wrap it up for you, man. I don't sugar it for you. I'm going to just get that shit to you, bro.